All right, I do appreciate once in a while this accidental honesty that comes from these leftists when they're now admitting that before, by the way, just to contrast this, before teachers or teachers unions or school boards would pretend they wanted parents to be involved, they would just say, well, it's a little difficult to take everybody's opinion into account. Now they've just morphed into this place where they're saying, no, just kidding, we don't want you involved. We specifically don't even want you overhearing what we're putting inside your child's head.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Throughout history, whenever government-run schools haven't done a good job, they've blamed it on the parents not being involved in the education. So they've said that it's not the teacher's fault, it's not the school monopoly's fault, it's the parents' fault. And now they're changing the conversation to, oh, well, we don't want the parents involved, actually, because they might figure out what we're teaching these children. And Matthew Kay is actually an English teacher, so it doesn't seem that it's really directly related to the work that he's supposed to be doing. And I also want to point out that if he's confident in what he's saying about these topics, he should be able to be happy to have the parents listen in and listen to what he's talking about. You and I talk about things that are made public all the time, and we do so, and we're happy to do so because we're confident in the arguments that we're making and the logic that we're putting behind those arguments. And I think the problem here is that parents might not even have an issue with what Matthew is discussing in the classroom. They may just have an issue with how he spins the narrative of what he's talking about, and he may be not providing an unbiased view of the curriculum. So that could be an issue too, that parents are just unhappy with how he's phrasing what he's talking about in the classroom.
Right. Well, it just shows, I think, it's very illustrative of the adversarial nature between teachers unions, because I don't want to demonize all teachers. There are a lot of good teachers, hardworking teachers, honest teachers who aren't trying to indoctrinate students. So I'll keep this teachers unions and radical leftist teachers here. There's this adversarial nature now between the unions and parents, as if teachers have to try to pull students away from their family structure, pull students away from the values that their parents want to instill in them, and re-educate the kids in radical leftist ideology. I mean, parents all over the country, if there's one benefit that we've seen from COVID-19, it's that parents all over the country don't have to take your word for it anymore, Corey. They don't have to take my word for it. They can see this, that we've been reporting on for years. They can see this for themselves by doing exactly what Matthew Kay is afraid of, looking over their kids' shoulders and listening to the kids' teachers.